Nyanue here with the Everyday Entrepreneur vlog. I have the amazing Watchen. How do I say your last name, Watchen?
Nyanue, so the first N is silent.
Watchen Nyanue. She is the co-founder of Little Doebahoyu Cultural Activity Box, and I want her to tell us a little bit more about it.
Sure. So the Cultural Activity Box really came about because my family's from Liberia, and we've always joked that we've been too African for the Americans and too Americans for the Africans. And so how do we bridge that gap between the cultures? And we thought that the best way to do that would be starting with children. And what we have found is that the children are learning just as much as the parents are as they explore the activity box. So what we have here right behind us is the typical activity box, right? So when your kid first starts, we use travel as a way to show them the cultures and expand their minds to what's possible in the world. So they get their intro box, they get their cute little suitcase, which I love. The bright colors tend to resonate with the children. In each box, we have educational materials that they can use to work on like their literacy, their STEM-based activity to work on, like STEM things, open their minds to the possibilities of careers. But then there's also fun games, right? Because hopscotch in the United States is the same as hopscotch in Haiti, right? Exactly. So kids can connect at least on an activity level. We actually brought the Liberia box because what else would I show? So in the box, we typically have a letter addressed to the parents because a lot of the games are going to be new to the parents as well. So what is it that we're trying to accomplish? Make sure that you are also a part of the process with your kid. So the parent gets a letter, but then the kid gets a letter, right? Because it's their box really. So we send them a box, and their two pen pals, Greer and Gria, talk about a specific topic that's happening in their country. They're from Liberia. But then at the bottom, they ask the kids questions that they can then practice their writing with. And in the box, there's a journal that they can use to do all of their writing.
And it's all themed like the flag.
It is all themed. They get a luggage tag that goes on their little suitcase, and they'll get a flag from the specific country because we want kids to be able to identify the flags of, the different countries that we talk about. They'll get their little passport so that once they start traveling with their parents, getting your passport stamp, it's like, oh, I've been doing this since I was 5, right? Like, I got this, Mom. So they'll get a passport, and then they'll get games. So games that are familiar to them but have a twist to them. So this is a game called Ludo. It's a very popular game that children play in Liberia, but this looks just like Sorry, right?
I was going to say it looks just
like Sorry, but there are twists and turns to Ludo that makes it a little bit harder for kids to play. So there's Ludo. Marbles, Liberian style, so kids know what marble is, but there's a little bit of a twist to it. And then the STEM-based game for this box is a game called Mancala that people may have heard of but didn't know that it was popular in Africa. So it's a Mancala counting game, right? And so
I've played this before, but it's not called Mancala here.
What is it called?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I've played it before.
Yeah, and it's great to help with counting. And then my favorite part is that there's also a recipe card.
Nice.
So it's a food that's popular in that country, that's kid friendly. So you can own part of the recipe, and the kids can own part of the recipe, so they feel that they are a part of the process as well. And on the back is the actual ingredients. And what we try to do is make the box self-contained, right? We don't want parents to have to go and spend more to do the activities.
Exactly.
So the recipes are things that you should have in your home. One of our customers actually sent an email, was like, hey, what's yeast? And I'm like, ma'am, she doesn't bake, right? And so her son was like, Mommy, we need yeast. And she was like, girl, what is yeast? And then also there are instruction cards for all of the games. So you get it, you don't know, you know how many players, you know what materials are in the box, what isn't in the box. And then this is my favorite part of the box. How cute are these little color pencils?
They're so cute.
So you can design your little journal. There are 12 color pencils in there. So
you can write in the journal that you provide.
Correct. There's 12 color pencils in the little branded kit, and each month is a different one. We're currently, I think it might almost be sold out, but our Black History Month box is what's on sale right now.
Awesome.
And we're celebrating Black people who have done amazing things throughout all of history that we may not necessarily know or talk about from a kid's perspective.
So what age group are these boxes for? So
I would say the ideal age group is a child between the ages of 6 and 11.
Okay.
So someone who's just learning how to read and write, someone who wants to practice their reading, because the vocabulary that we use is most appropriate for that elementary school age range.
Right.
But what we're finding is that the parents are learning as much, and so we have kids as young as 5 who have the boxes.
Yes, because she asked me some questions, and I did not know the answer to these questions, and I felt like, oh my goodness, do kids know the answers to these questions? And there were questions about Italy and different places. Actually, here's one of them. And so, do you talk about these things?
Yes, so in addition to the boxes, each quarter we release a supplemental educational product. And the supplemental product for Q4 of last year is an African the Diaspora flashcard set. And what we did was research on the 19 countries outside of the continent of Africa that have the highest concentration of people of color, right? And what we did is, on one side is that flag, so can you recognize that flag? And on the other side are 5 fun facts about that specific country. So if your kid has a book report, if there's, some learning that you want to do, some memorization things that you want to work on, and on the back of the card, so like this one should be easy.
Haiti.
Come on, somebody. So this is Haiti, right? And so on the back of Haiti, it tells you the diaspora population, the capital of Haiti, the official languages, a famous Haitian that you may want to know, and then a fun fact, right?
Nice.
And so it's a well-rounded perspective of that country that kids can understand.
That's amazing.
Q4, my favorite, I always say my favorite, but this is my favorite. So the product that is out this month is our Black Inventors Memory Match. So it takes the classic memory game, but we only are having kids identify products that they use every day that a Black person invented, right? And so you may not know that the ice cream scooper that you use every day to get your ice cream was invented by a Black person, or that the radiator, the current traffic light, right? When people say a Black person invented the traffic light, we actually made it safer because there was a traffic light that had only red and green. So people were crashing all the time, and so a Black inventor altered it, and now the yellow light has saved countless lives, right? Kids see it every day, but they may not know, or parents may not know that we had a hand in it. So it's a classic memory game. And then at the bottom, kids can also practice their reading, right? Because there's the fact and the inventor is on the card.
The hairbrush.
Never Lydia. Never. And so how do we educate kids, but also help them in the things that matter in their education, right? So literacy. They're always being tested on literacy. STEM. We don't have enough kids of color, people of color in general, in the STEM field. But then also expose them to culture and make them proud of the things about us that make us special, and the things about us that are different that also make us special.
I love it.
Thank you.
It. It's Black History Month, so I'm rocking my Young Black and Ambitious shirt from the Urban League, who we know is a pioneer organization in the Black community.
Correct.
And this Black Inventors card is amazing because what I'm doing on the It's Allison Renee page is I'm identifying Black entrepreneurs all over the world that you typically would not hear about. And so it's good for us to know that history, is good for us to spread that knowledge. And I'm really interested in, how do you feel being African owned business and being a woman owned business in 2017?
So I think a lot of the times there's like some stigma around saying that you're a Black owned business. That is not the case for us. We are very excited to be a Black owned business and to have products that are contributing positively to culture, right? And so I think as I've gone out on like my sales calls and meeting people, I think the reception has been really positive, right? Because there's a confidence in the level of my product. When I walk into a room, because I think that kids should experience excellence, I present myself excellently, right? And so my products, I never go in and like, oh, I hope they like it. No, it's an amazing, phenomenal product that adds value. And so I think when you walk into a room and you are, one, I'm proud of my heritage. I'm proud to be African. I'm proud to be an African living in America. The rest of my family, we have African Americans, we have people from Trinidad, people from Haiti, from everywhere. And I think for me, that's what makes the world an amazing place, because we're not all the same, right?
Exactly.
And knowing that, and being a woman, I think gives me an advantage, because, we've been running this, right? Like, we do this. And so I think
it's in our blood.
It's in our blood, and there's some strength, I think, in understanding the power that comes from being a woman in an industry that's dominated mostly by men. I feel like that is an advantage for me. Is it going to be hard? I don't know. I'll deal with that when it gets there. Like, when I face that, but so far, everyone that I've met has been really, really positively impacted by the product. We actually just did a partnership with the YWCA, so looking to branch out with them. So the conversations that we've been having, I think it's more about me being confident in the product, and I think that comes from me being confident as a woman, right? Like, there's no question. Like, I'm grown. Like, I'm a grown woman, and I think that confidence translates to how we present our products. Hi everyone, this is Watchen Nyanue, the co-founder of Little Doebahoyu, and you are watching the Everyday Entrepreneur Vlog.